Okay, so to continue on with this example, let's look at the price recovery component of the change in operating income, whereas the growth component had to do with increase or change in output or input. The price recovery component has to do with the change due to the price of output or the price of input. And again, it's going to have a revenue effect and a cost effect. Let's take a look at the revenue effect first. What we have in 2017 is a price of $31, and in 2016 a selling price of $30, which resulted in an increase of $1. If we then multiply that by the number of units that we sold in 2017, what we find is that $225,000 of our increase in operating income is due to that increase in selling price. So we have both a favorable increase in selling price, and from the previous example, we also had a favorable increase in number of units. Now, there's a cost impact too, in which we need to look at the cost of the input. So let's look at direct material costs first. We had an input price, the price of the t-shirt in 2017 of $13, whereas in 2016 it was $15. That's a decrease of $2 per t-shirt. Then you'll remember in the previous example, we had calculated the direct materials that would be required in 2016 to meet our sales in 2017, and that was 241,875 t-shirts. At a $2 increase, a $2 decrease, that is actually a favorable effect of $483,750. So in other words, if we were needing the direct materials that in 2017 at 2016 usage, we would actually have a decrease in cost of $483,000 and change. Now, selling and customer costs, or the administrative costs, if you will, we actually did have a change in input price. The price per unit of capacity in 2017 was $375. That was given to us in the opening data. The price per unit of capacity in 2016 was only $363 per unit of capacity per customer. That's an increase in price of 12, and our capacity in 2016 was 4,500, which was more than enough capacity for 2017. So we actually had an unfavorable cost effect of $54,000. The $12 increase in price times the 4,500 units of capacity in 2016. So with a favorable effect for direct materials and an unfavorable effect for selling and customers, for administrative costs, our change in operating income due to price recovery was $654,750. Now keep in mind that also includes the favorable revenue effect. So we had favorable revenue effect, favorable direct material cost effect, and unfavorable administrative or selling and customer costs effect, which leaves us with a favorable operating income impact due to price recovery. Okay, let's look at the productivity component. Obviously, productivity has to do with how efficient we are. And so we're going to need to look at our costs, both direct materials and our conversion or administrative costs. In direct material costs, we used 215,000 t-shirts in 2016, which led to 200,000 t-shirts being sold. And then in 2017, we sold 225,000 t-shirts. Now, in the initial component, we had calculated that to meet our 2017 requirements at the rate that was in place in 2017, we would have needed 241,875 t-shirts. In fact, what we used in 2017 was 245,000 t-shirts, which means we actually used 3,125 t-shirts more in 2017 than we would have producing that same amount in 2016. At our $13 price in 2017, that's a cost impact of $40,625. Unfavorable because we actually used more than 2016's rate of usage would have indicated. Now, for conversion costs, administrative costs, let's look at capacity. We had capacity in 2017 of 4,250. We had capacity in 2016 of 4,500. An increase in capacity, sorry, that's actually a decrease in capacity from 2016 to 2017 of 250. The cost of capacity per customer in 2017 was $375. So if we multiply the change in capacity of 250 times the cost in 2017, we get a favorable $93,750. We were able to reduce the required capacity in 2017. So what do we have related to productivity? We have an unfavorable component for direct materials and favorable for administrative or conversion costs for a total of $53,125. Now, if you add up all three of these, the component due to growth, the component due to price recovery, and the component due to productivity, you will notice that that equals the change in operating income that we calculated in the very first requirement, which means that overall, Gianni's product differentiation strategy is working. All three components were favorable, which means Gianni was able to increase the price, reduce the cost, still increase sales, and their productivity increased. So overall, Gianni should feel quite satisfied that the strategy they're using is being successful.